Previously, we talked about mass, length, and time. Now we want to put them together, okay, to describe the existence of an object. Hopefully we all are in agreement about the fact that mass exists, about the fact that time exists, and about the fact that position exists. So let's go ahead and describe this a little bit more. Say we have ourselves a block here. And this block is made up of protons, neutrons, as well as electrons. Okay? It's going to form an atomic structure. It's going to be an element. This element is going to bond with a different type of element to produce a molecule. These molecules will form and arrange in all kinds, well, in different kinds of ways to form objects. These objects can really be anything. They could be wood, it could be lead, it could be humans, it could be flesh, it could be anything that you pretty much can see, touch, taste, smell. So now we have ourselves an object here, and this object is consistent of mass, which we decided to give a unit or to quantify mass in terms of kilograms. It also has a length, which is in terms of seconds, and it has a position. Oh, let's see what we're ready. I do want to put time here also. So we have time, and then we have position. Okay, and our position will be in terms of meters. All right? So how do we actually scale these things? Well, for one thing, if we wanted to measure the mass of this block, what would we do? Well, we would just place it on a scale. Scale would have some kind of readout, and it might say 10 kilograms. Okay? So it'll have a little face here and have a little readout. So that's one way we can actually measure the mass of this object. Okay? How else do we, how do we measure the time? So we've measured the mass, how do we measure the time? Well, we just take a clock. Okay? And remember, time is going to be from event to event. So if the object just remains there, and it's a block of gold, and it's your block of gold, and you have it in your safe, you would want it to remain there day to day until it's time for you to spend it, okay, or to utilize it. If it moves, then you know that someone either took it from you, or you sold it, or something along those lines. So I know that this is common sense for you guys, but that's the idea. So we have a time. And then position. How do we measure position? Well, in that case, we would just get some rulers. Okay? And the way we use, what rulers we use, we call these number lines. So it could say 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, how do we actually describe these number lines? When we're just writing them on the board so we don't have to draw a block, we typically describe them like so. Okay, so we'll have, might start down here and say that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, on and on and on. So if we have one number line, we can have one number line that represents our x dimension, or this could represent our x, and this number line, which could be another ruler, can represent our y dimension. And so if we know our x and our y, so those are two dimensions, and then we can have a third dimension, and that is going to be our z. So we can have ourselves another ruler here, and we can measure the depth. So we can measure the height, we can measure the length, and we can measure the depth. So that means we can calculate the area, we can calculate the volume as well. All right. So not only that, we can also measure the location of this thing. Let's just say that we start with a location here, and let's call this location 20 feet, or let's just say that it's 20. We can know where this object's edge is from 20 feet, all right, as well as this one. You follow what I'm saying? So we can always know the position of this object, all right? So that's the idea between mass, time, and length. Now we're going to use these to form everything else in physics.